most profitable and the most scalable way to generate listings is through prospecting, okay? Talking to people you don't know. People that don't know who Gus is, who Mary is, who any of you guys are. Talking to potential sellers every single day that are coming from prospecting is the most efficient, the most highest, most profitable, and most scalable way to get more listings. And that's why you folks are here today, okay?
I am Mary Harmon, I'm a realtor down in Tuscaloosa, and today we are going to talk about cold calling and scripts with Gus Munoz, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So y'all feel free to ask questions. Let us know what questions you have, any concerns you have, all that good stuff, and we will be here to help you today. So welcome to this Lab Coat Agents webinar.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Let's give people a little bit of time to jump in and join us. Would love to hear in the chat where everybody's from. That's always fun. What parts of the country people are joining us from, US or Canada or all over the world, right? We have people in Lab Coat Agents, I think from almost every continent. So drop a comment in the chat. Let us know where you're joining us from. That's always fun to see, at least for me. I'm joining you guys today from sunny Mexico. So I'm down here for the moment. A lot of my team lives down here. So pretty cool. Los Angeles. All right. A few people from Mexico over in Los Angeles. Santa Monica. Wow, a lot of California folks out here today. Nice. Nashville, Orlando, DFW. I was just in DFW a few weeks ago. I love the Metroplex. Love the Metroplex. A lot of fun over in Dallas. Awesome. The Bronx. There we go. How about those Yankees? Wow. Best team in baseball. Holy cow. Doing pretty good. So Bay Area, there we go. Another more Santa Monica. I love it. Everybody. Cool. Seattle, man, my old stomping grounds in Seattle. I worked in Bothell as a real estate agent for years. And I lived in Bothell for like 10 years. So love that area. Love the east side of Seattle, North Shore of Seattle. So great. Everyone, welcome to the presentation. I think we can kick it off now. Let's get started. Let's talk about what you guys are interested in. Jumping right into it. Best cold calling scripts for your ISA. Like with all my presentations, I like to set the table, so we're all on the same page, guys. Let's look at this. This graph always shocks me, right? Every time I look at it, it never ceases to amaze me. This is the level of active inventory in the US. The gray bar is the pandemic, okay? That's the beginning of the pandemic. And that blue line is how many hundreds of thousands of listings we've got active in the US at any given time. We are still less than half, or actually, this is from January. So let's say we're about half of where we were in 2019, okay? We are barely at half of what we should be, or what we were before the pandemic. In the spring season, right before the pandemic, we were seeing over 1 million active listings, 1.1, 1.2 active listings in the market. And since the pandemic, we've never been able to get past 600,000, 700,000. You just have not been able to break through that ceiling for a lot of reasons, right? For a lot of reasons. The point is, we were already in a seller's market in 2019. It's not surprising to anyone. It's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse since the pandemic, okay? This is the latest information from NAR, the NAR Research, the official NAR Research Instagram account. We are on track for 4.38 million home sales in this year, okay? Through the first quarter, we are on track. This is up to date to March, okay? We haven't seen the full March numbers yet. I think this number is only going to go up. My guesstimate is that in the US, we're probably going to sell 1 million homes more than last year, okay? Last year, in case you guys missed it, we barely sold 3.5 million, 3.7 million homes in the US. That's way lower than what we're used to. That's way lower than what a country of 300 million people needs, okay? A lot of people sat on the fence. A lot of people were worried. A lot of people didn't love 8% interest rates. I know I didn't. There's a lot of people that held off on buying and selling in 2023 for all the reasons you can imagine, okay? But this year, at least through the first few months, we're at least 700,000, 800,000 above what we were last year. My prediction is we're going to blast through that number. We're going to be back to a normal number, quite frankly, of about 4.5 to 5 million homes. That's where we're going to be this year. That's good news. That's awesome. But here's the bottom line. This is why you folks are here. It's why we have 60 people on this webinar today. It's because we need more listings, okay? We need more listings. We need to get more sellers onto the market. My thoughts are that consumers, their customers, our clients have become more accustomed to 6-7% interest rate. I think the shock factor of that number has gone away. And we tasted 8% at the end of 2023. So I know a lot of people that are grateful to get an interest rate in the 6 to 7% range. It's no longer, the scarlet letter, oh my God, the world is ending. I think we're past that at this point, okay? We need more listings in the market. There are buyers, hundreds of thousands of buyers, probably millions of buyers out there that are willing to buy a home in the 6 to 7% interest rate range, right? So we're past it. We need more homes in the market. One of the best, actually, let me say this, the best way to get listings known to man, and I'm not going to argue with this, is through your personal sphere and database. I'm not going to, you can, maybe people don't agree with that, but that is the highest ROI, fastest way to generate business. That's great. That's awesome. What if your sphere isn't selling this year? Okay. What if no one in your database has a listing? Okay. The second most profitable, most scalable, because personal database doesn't scale too well. The most profitable and the most scalable way to generate listings is through prospecting. Okay. Talking to people you don't know. People that don't know who Gus is, who Mary is, who any of you guys are. Talking to potential sellers every single day that are coming from prospecting is the most efficient, the most highest, most profitable, and most scalable way to get more listings. And that's why you folks are here today, okay? We're talking about not just cold calling on your own, having an ISA help you make these calls. Now, there's one concept I need you guys to understand. If you don't get this next concept, you should never hire an ISA to do cold calling, okay? If you don't understand this concept right now, don't do it. It's that important, okay? It's a concept that I call shaking the tree. What do you think of that image? Is that awesome or what? Shaking the tree so some of those listings can come off. So I got this from ChatGPT and said, hey, give me an image about, shaking that tree and having some listings fall out. And, this is the best it could do. It's still an early technology, guys. It's early. So folks, when I talk about shaking the tree, I'm talking about generating sellers through cold calling with the help of an ISA. This is going to sound counterintuitive, but when you have an ISA making calls for you, appointments aren't the goal. And, shots fired, controversy, don't agree. Maybe you don't agree with that, but let me explain, okay? This is so funny because I had a coaching call right before this presentation, and this exact issue came up. This exact question came up. Gus, I've got my, a client of mine has an ISA, and they're generating, they're generating emails for their email list. They're calling potential sellers. But they were concerned saying, hey, I'm getting all these potential sellers, all these nurtures, but where are the appointments, right? I'm not getting enough appointments. And I said, okay, let's go over this concept. Really important concept. The job of your ISA in a cold calling context, if we're calling, inbound leads, inbound Facebook leads, Zillow, Realtor.com, my answer would be different. But if we're talking about outbound cold calling, outbound prospecting, the most efficient, most profitable way to generate listings, the job of your ISA is not to set a bunch of appointments, okay? The job of your ISA is to generate what I like to call qualified sellers. Qualified sellers. That is their job, right? They're going to make 100 calls, 200 calls, 500 calls, talk to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 people, and find the ones that have some interest in selling, okay? That is their job. If we want to raise the bar and have them set the appointment, have you just attend the listing appointment to sign the listing, that's not a realistic expectation, all right? And a lot of agents go into the ISA model thinking that's going to happen. I'm going to get my ISA making these calls, and I'm just going to take those listing appointments and attend, and I'm going to close half of them. Great. Guys, that's not how this works. An ISA making calls for you can be an amazing way to talk to more sellers if you follow this model. The job of the ISA is to make 100 calls So you can talk to one qualified seller with interest to sell and build that relationship with them. And then you take them to the finish line. All right. You're going to connect with them as soon as possible, have that conversation. And if they're ready to go, you should set the appointment right away. And that can happen for sure. I got some case studies. It can happen. But the real ROI is going to come from following up with them once a month. That's it. That's what you got to do. With this shaking the tree model, the problem reduces itself to this. How many qualified sellers can your ISA give you every single day? That's the problem you have to solve. And that's what today's presentation is about. How can you get an ISA working for you, making calls, generating 1, 2, or more qualified sellers for you every single day? And my definition of a qualified seller is very simple. Confirmed homeowner, someone that owns a property in your area. Confirmed contact information. You're talking to them on the phone. Is it a great way to reach out to them? Great. Number 3, the most important one, there's some interest, there is some curiosity in selling their home. They're open to it. They're already thinking about it. That's it. Okay. That is it. Racking up as many of those people as possible is how you can get 1, 2, 3 listings a month from prospecting. It starts with how many qualified sellers can you get on the list? That's it. And I'll get more into detail on that. Okay. Very important concept. I have yet to see a successful cold calling campaign with an ISA that doesn't use this model. I honestly have not seen it, right? Which makes me think, since I'm the ISA guy, I've hired hundreds, probably thousands of ISAs at this point for teams all across the US and Canada. If I haven't seen it, it probably doesn't exist. And for this model, I have seen be successful time and time again, okay? So let's jump into it. First script we want to go into, good old circle prospecting. What do you think about that image? Pretty cool, right? That's what ChatGPT said circle prospecting sounds like, right? I think that was better. I think we're getting better, right? Good job, ChatGPT. All right. So circle prospecting, when I talk about circle prospecting, it can be just listed, it can be just sold, geo-farming. A lot of scripts get talked about with circle prospecting, okay? I like circle prospecting because it has the largest amount of data possible, right? It's the phone book. You're calling the phone book to find people that might be thinking of selling. It is also the easiest form of prospecting out there. It's the easiest. This is the one that I did the most of. I cut my teeth doing circle prospecting and calling old expires. Circle prospecting was the easiest one by far, by far. I love connecting with people. I can talk out of my elbows. I just want to talk to potential homeowners every single day, okay? You need to talk to about 30 to 50 people a day to generate some nurtures, right? Without talking to 30 to 50 people a day, it's really hard to make this work. But if you can make that number happen, great things can happen, all right? The goal is 1 to 2 qualified sellers every single day. And my recommendation is don't leave voicemails, folks. This scenario, like I said, you're calling the phone book. There's not enough to entice someone to call you back if you leave a voicemail. There's just not enough. But curiosity about where that missed call came from, that might be interesting, okay? So I always rely on the curiosity. If you're not able to connect with them, just wait and see if they call you back or if they call your ISA back, right? The script, my favorite circle prospecting script goes something like this, all right? Hey there, is this the owner of property? Is this Bob? Great. Hey, I'm Gus. I'm calling from ABC Realty, and I'm canvassing the neighborhood because we have 15 buyers that we're working with, and we need more listings. There's not enough homes on the market. Can you help me out, Mr. Seller? Do you know anyone that might be thinking of selling? Okay. So that's how the script starts. That's it. Okay. You have to be quick. You have to have an interesting hook right at the beginning of the script. Hey, if I were calling Mary, I'm canvassing the neighborhood because I've got 15 buyers looking in this area. There's not enough homes in the market. Mary, can you help me out here? Do you know anyone that might be thinking of selling? Maybe yes, maybe no. Who gets the answer? Great. How about yourself, Mary? Have you ever considered moving up, moving down, maybe getting a second property, an investment home? Tell me. Do you currently own or do you rent your home? Okay, and you can actually continue the conversation, but this is the start, okay? This is the beginning. That has to be quick, And you gotta have something enticing, something interesting. I really like this one. Another variation of this is the just sold. Really similar hook. Hey there, it's Gus calling from ABC Realty. Guess what? We just sold your neighbor's house over on 123 Main Street. But we have a problem now, Mary. We had another 8 buyers be very disappointed. They couldn't win it. There was a bidding war going on. I'm trying to find a property for those 8 buyers. Do you know anyone that might be thinking of selling? Can you help me out here? How about yourself? Guys, rinse and repeat. That is it. You ask that question to 30 people every day, you're going to get one person so for me, so the people actually usually don't say yes to that question. Do you think you want to sell it? Yeah, sure, come on over. No, they don't say that, but they don't say no. That's one. And they don't hang up on you. All right. An actual response of a seller nurture goes something like this. Well, not right now. Just not for the moment. Like, oh, well, okay, interesting. Tell me more about that. What do you mean right now? What's holding you back? What do you need to have happen before you can make a move? I'm just curious, Mary. Tell me more about that. Let's see where they go. That's how a nurture sounds like at the early stage, right? Not right now, not really. We thought about it, we put it off. Okay, tell me more about that. They didn't say no, they didn't hang up. There's something there, okay? You just got to ask the next question and try to tease it out. Okay. Once you start that, this is the qualifying part of the script. Great. Tell me more about that. Whatever they say. If they didn't say no and they didn't hang up, tell me more about that. What's got you thinking about making a move? What has to happen for you to make that move? Tell me more. I'm curious about that. Got it. When would you like to make that happen? Whatever it is they say, doesn't matter. That's a time frame. Motivation, timeline, great. And then for the ISA, remember, the ISA is one step removed from you. So the goal of the ISA is to get permission for you to call them. They're not, this is not an appointment, okay? Because, and again, also, you don't want to set appointments at this stage of the call, of the process, because number one, the odds of them attending an appointment with you or anyone from your team at this early stage is just very low. They might just want to get you off, yeah, sure, tomorrow at 5, fine. Don't let them do that. Get permission to follow up. Great. I'd love for my agent, Mary, to give you a call. She's the local area expert, and she can answer any questions you've got about the process. Oh, but I'm just getting started. That's awesome. We love working with people that are just getting started because that's where Mary can have the most value. Is that okay? Great. She's going to call to introduce herself and answer any questions. Awesome. I'll have her call you tomorrow. End of the conversation. Don't book an appointment. Don't send a calendar invite. Guys, it's not likely to work at this stage. Once Mary reaches out, has a conversation with them, then you can schedule the next follow-up. Hey, maybe a month from now, maybe a couple months from now. Great, perfect. The name of the game is having as many of these conversations as possible. That's it. All right? Great. Here is a case study. This is Wayne Upshaw, one of our clients. I haven't even had time to upload this to YouTube yet. We're uploading it to YouTube next week. He has an ISA, and he has been having, I think, something like between 5 and 10 conversations like this, the one I described, with potential sellers every week for the last 30 days, okay? Potential sellers. The last 2 weeks, he's gotten 2 actual people to invite him over to their home to take a look at it because they're thinking of selling, okay? Is that a listing appointment or not? I mean, you can tell me the answer. I honestly don't care. He's meeting face-to-face with potential sellers because they're going to be selling right now in the spring, okay? So, but it started with circle prospecting. Wayne's only using circle prospecting. His ISA is connecting him with potential sellers every single day. Wayne is setting the appointment, okay? Wayne is talking to those sellers, building that rapport, having that conversation, and then he decides, do I need to meet with these people now or later? Okay, awesome. 2 people inviting you to their home every single week. That's all that I can work with that. I can get some listings from that. That's awesome. That's great. He's off to an amazing start only within 30 days because his ISA is handing him off, and he's making those calls. He's connecting with these sellers, making it happen. Another case study. This one is on YouTube. Carlos Gonzalez. He's out of San Antonio. 2 deals per month from circle prospecting using this exact same model. ISA makes those connections. Carlos calls them, builds that relationship. When they're ready to list, he's the one they call because he's not competing with 18 other agents, right? Off of Zillow or Realtor.com. He has the time to build that relationship, build that rapport. And I can't, I'd estimate probably in his list of nurtures, seller nurtures, it's hundreds of people. I don't know if it's over 1,000 or not, but he has hundreds of people in his list that his ISAs have generated for him. Hundreds, I don't know, maybe over 1,000 at this point, right? He's been doing this for a long time. So this is the name of the game. You want to get a consistent flow of listings from people you don't know. Talk to those qualified sellers every single day. All right, great. Keys to this script. This applies to all the scripts we're going to talk about today. Okay, this applies to all the scripts, but I want to bring this up quick. You got to be quick. Your ISA has to be quick here. Okay, they got to get that hook out there as soon as possible. Hey there, this is Gus with ABC Real Estate. Quick question. Like right there. Identify yourself. This is what I want to do. Another thing that's really important. Listening. Okay, listening, because the script is based off their responses. All right. For example, if the person's saying, you know what? Yeah, no, I'm not interested, not right now, not anytime soon. Giving up is a mistake, right? Asking the next question. Oh, that's interesting. So you've considered it in the past, but not anymore. I'm just curious. What happened? What's holding you back? What's the reason you don't want to do that anymore? Show genuine curiosity, okay? Genuine curiosity. The circle prospecting script is not about doing amazing ninja objection handling. This is not the script for that. You don't need that in this, quite frankly, in the script. You just need to listen to the person on the other end of the line, show some genuine curiosity, and then just continue the conversation. Ask the next question. Ask the next question, right? I like to say this, you have to do objection handling for sure. But my goal with our ISAs is they have to get to what we call the 3 no's. The prospect says no 3 times. Okay, you've done your job. Even if the outcome isn't what we would have liked, that's fine. 99% of the time, you're not going to get a positive outcome. Welcome to circle prospecting, right? It is, like I said, calling the phone book. But if you get to the 3rd no, you're doing your job. You make that initial pitch, they say no. You currently own a renter home. They say whatever. And you pitch them again, whether they're a renter or an owner. You ask them. And they still say no, you've done your job. Move on to the next prospect, okay? Important one. Next, let's look at downsizers. Downsize. I think you know what? I think I'm seeing a question in the Q&A. Hi, we have an ISA in the room in the audience. Welcome. May I know what is the best response if they ask how I got their information? Oh, okay, great question. Really good one. We just give a really simple response, right? Saying, hey, you know what? My IT department found this home, found your information associated to this property. And then ask the next question, right? Move on. Don't kind of stop. Don't dwell on it. You know what? Our IT guys found your contact information associated here in the neighborhood, here in this property. So that's why. And quick question, have you ever considered selling it, right? Selling your home, relocating, downsizing, upsizing, whatever. So move on, address it, acknowledge it, address it, move on. That's how you basically handle any objection, right? Cool. Downsizers. What do I mean by downsizers? This is the ChatGPT downsizer. This is a downsizer. It's pretty cool. I think it's cute. This is the older folks in larger homes. That's how you generate a list of downsizers, folks over a certain age in a home of a certain size. Prime target to move out. This segment of the market is only going to grow. Folks, I have 2 parents that are in their late 70s. Both of them have transitioned into smaller homes, okay? Smaller living conditions, all right? Because, you get closer to 80 and those stairs are not cool, guys. Not fun to be in a home, like a 2-story home. We got to move around all the time. Not fun, not safe, not comfortable, not appropriate. Got to help these folks out. Another thing I love about this group, they pick up the phone more. They pick up the phone. This is period. End of story. Like they're willing to have a conversation with you much more than the general population. Let's call it that, right? They'll pick up the phone. I like that. And here's the bonanza. You can use the exact same script as circle prospecting. We never use a different script. Why? Because I don't want to have to start a conversation saying, hey there, grandpa, I heard you're too afraid of stairs. Let's get you into a smaller house. That's not a good start to a script, okay? Use the exact same circle prospecting script. We have a lot of demand in your area. We have these many buyers. Have you ever considered relocating, right? Getting something bigger, getting something smaller, something more comfortable for you. Ask the question, right? It starts the exact same way. Great. Next. So I'm not going to go into the details of the script. Like I said, the script is the same. Next one. Another really good one, absentee owners. Now, this is what, ChatGPT thinks a mom and pop landlord would look like. So there you go, right? I'm thinking, hey, can you make him a little younger? And it came up with some not great results when I asked it that. So this is good enough. So absentee owners, folks, absentee owners are any person that owns a home where the mailing address is different from the actual home address, okay? That is the definition of an absentee owner. And in most markets, real estate agents are not really focusing on this group, okay? In most markets, they're just not. It's not on the radar. I love telling the story. I'm an absentee owner in Seattle. I used to live in Seattle a long time, got some rental property there. It's a great market for rentals. Great. Like I could count on one hand how many agents have reached out to me to ask me would I unload that rental property, right? Would I ever want to sell that? Roll it into another investment, cash out, what? Since 2020, the start of the biggest inventory crunch in my lifetime, maybe yours too, less than 5 agents have asked me that question in 4 years, okay? So trust me when I tell you that this is an underutilized segment of the market, all right? Another factor to consider, this is really important, guys. Millions of new units are hitting, well, actually, I take it back, it might be 1 million. So a lot of rental units are hitting the market this year. Why? Because during the pandemic, 2020, 2021, 2022, a historic amount of new units were being built, okay? In 2020, 21, and 22. We'd never seen anything like it for the last 20, 30 years. More new rental units were built than ever before, at least the last 3 decades, in the last 3 years. They are starting to hit the market now, okay? In Seattle, we're already seeing them. I tried to jack up the rents again because it's been, hey guys, it's been good for rent for landlords the last couple of years. You know what I mean? And I could not. Why? Because they were brand new rental units, less than a mile from my property, charging the exact same amount that I was. Okay? That's interesting for me as a landlord. That gets me thinking as a landlord. Hey, what if more rental units come on the market? Holy cow, what's going to happen? We don't know, but I can tell you now, I'm not going to be able to raise the rent for a little while. Okay? That's just reality. You can call these folks up and ask them, okay? And also, you want to tell them the good news because I said agents aren't reaching out to these owners that much, but the people that are reaching out are investors, okay? Wholesalers, flippers, developers. They're calling these people like crazy. They're messaging them, mailing them items, texting them, all these things because they do want those properties. And they're much better at this segment than we are as agents, right? It's a reality. But give them the good news. You're not an investor, okay? It's one of the first things you want to tell them. Hey, I'm not trying to give you a cash offer as this condition. No, I want you to get the highest and best for your property. Really important to clarify that, okay? And in this segment, as opposed to the other two, you can actually leave them a voicemail and it can be useful, okay? You can send them a text message and it can be useful. And it's really simple. Are you the owner of 123 Main Street? Okay. I'm an absentee owner. That would get my attention. Let me just tell you that right now, right? A lot of times when they ask you that, nothing good's going to happen. So you want to ask, hey, what's going on, right? You're going to get my attention with that. That's all you want. You just want to get their attention. Here is, I give you a couple of variations of the absentee owner script for your ISA, Hey, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? Okay. You might want to ask, hey, Gus, why are you asking that instead of saying, is this Bob? When we're doing circle prospecting, we're calling the phone book guys, right? Like if it's Bob or someone else or Jim, I actually don't care. Are they local? Do they live in my city? Then I want to talk to them. Couldn't care less what area they live in, actually, right? They want to move. Are you still in the area? Are you local? Great. Absentee owners are different. Absentee owner, you want to reach the owner of the property, okay? Hey, this is the owner of 123 Main Street. That's important. It's an important detail. Great. I'm Gus calling from ABC Realty. Quick question. Would you consider an offer on your property? Just open up guns blazing. Get their attention, right? See where they're at and see what they say to that. Or if that's a little bit too direct, some people might, oh, I'm not sure. And if that's too direct, great. Gus, I'm calling from ABC Realty. Quick question. Have you ever considered cashing out on your property and maybe getting another investment? Have you ever considered that? I'm just curious. And then shut up and see what they say, right? That's it, folks. That is it. Because after this part of the script, when you're qualifying someone, it's essentially the same process as circle. Great. Tell me more about that. What's your motivation to make it happen? Ah, good to know. And when would you like to make that happen? Okay, that's great. I think let's do this, Mr. Seller. Why don't I have my area expert, Mary, give you a call tomorrow? I want her to introduce yourself and give you an estimate of what you could get for this home in this market and give you an update on market conditions. How does that sound? Great. I'll have her reach out right away. Thank you. Bye. That's it. You don't need an appointment with these folks, right? You're going to reach out. You're going to requalify them as an agent. Your ISA handing off to you. It's smart to ask them some of these same questions again, and then start building that relationship. Find out, drill into the motivation, drill into the time frame, make sure everything looks good. All right. I love, love, love this list. This is a great one. And this is Josh. 6 listings in 90 days from calling absentee owners and other lists, but this is one of the big ones that he called. Great results, but it all starts with having 1 or 2 great conversations with sellers every single day, okay? That's the name of the game, and you can get results like this. This is from his ISA. Awesome. Next one, old expireds, okay? Guys, I used to call these lists every day in Seattle, okay? But it was 2013, 2014 timeframe. Like it was like shooting fish in a barrel. Things have changed, right? Since 2013, 2014, okay? In some markets, you're barely getting any expired listings. I get it. I have empathy for that. But you got to consider this, all right? Probably about May, June of 2022, depending where you were, the market peaked in the US, okay? I have a feeling we're going to blow past that peak this year, but we haven't yet, okay? Like average sold prices in the US have not gone back to that peak as a country, maybe in some areas for sure. But that was the peak of the market, all right? Summer of 2022. After that peak, many more listings expired than we had seen in previous years. Many more, okay? Many more. A lot of sellers were kicking themselves. Oh, why didn't I sell when prices were at this rate and interest rates were at that rate? We'll never see those prices again. Oh my God. A lot of folks went off the market. They tried to sell. They got nowhere near the amount of money they wanted. And they said they got frustrated. They got mad. They hate the world. They hate real estate agents. And they went off the market. Okay. A lot of those folks relisted and sold. The majority did not. All right. So a really smart thing to do is to go back. In my opinion, you should go back to summer of 2022, quite frankly, and try and find expired listings that have not relisted and have a conversation with them. All right. For a lot of expired listings, the tsunami subsides after about 30 days. In this market, they get bombarded with calls. You know what happens after the first couple hours? They just turn off their phone. They're not going to take any more calls. Okay. They're just going to hunker down. Bye. Going to wait for the tsunami to subside. And most of them are not going to relist in a day or two. The overwhelming majority of them. I think the average is like 9 months later is like an average number. Okay. So consider that. In this kind of segment, it is also a good idea, whether you or your ISA are calling them, you can leave a voicemail or a text message. Very simple one. Are you still accepting offers on 123 Main Street? That's it. See what they respond. All right. Going into a script like this. Hey, is this the owner? You're also looking for the owner of the property. This is Gus. I'm calling from ABC Realty. Hey, I saw your home was on the market a while back. This could have been a few weeks ago. It could have been a year ago or more. Okay. Well, I'm just curious, would you still accept an offer on that property? Right? If you would have sold it, where were you moving to? What was your plan before? What if we can make that happen? Right? Would you be interested? I'm just curious, Mary. I'm just asking the question. I'm out of curiosity. Would you still sell if I could get you a great offer on that? Great. Or you want to be a little less direct. Hey, I saw your home was in the market a while back. If I can get you a qualified buyer, Mary, because I'm working with 15 people right now looking for people for homes in this neighborhood right now. If I can get you a qualified buyer, qualified offer, would you still sell? I'm just curious. Just curious. Ask that question to 10, 15, 20 people a day. You're going to get 1, 2, or 3 people. They're not going to hang up and they're not going to say no. Okay. That's what we want. That's where we are in that stage of the process. We just want to see where it goes, right? Have the conversation. Expireds, as well as FSBO, are the highest converting leads in cold calling, okay? They are the highest converting leads. When people call these, you have the opportunity for massive results like Menard did up in Detroit. He's in the Detroit suburbs. 4 listings in 30 days, okay? 4 listings in 30 days. And this wasn't like a year or 2 ago. This was a few months ago. I think he made these calls when no one was making these calls last October, last November, okay? That's when interest rates were at 8%. Some people hunkered down, got depressed, and wanted to leave the industry. He hired an ISA and got down and called people and found people that were willing to sell, even with interest rates where they were. This was last fall. It's not that long ago, a few months ago. And he got those closings in November, December, January. Okay. So, folks, this can work. This can work. And if it can work with 8% interest rates, I bet you it can work right now. All right. That's what you want. Okay. We got about 8 minutes left. I want to go through how to get started. This is a question I get very often. What dialers do we need? What kind of dialer do you need to get this working? Folks, for most of the lead sources I gave you today, a single line dialer is enough, okay? For most of them. The only exception will probably be circle prospecting. You need to dial a little bit faster for circle. For all the other ones I gave you, you can use Ring Central, you can use Vonage, you can use Google Voice. We have clients killing it, just straight up using the Google Voice number. That, it's really low cost, okay? Single line for most of these lead sources, because you're not going to have 8,000 people in some of these lists. It's going to be smaller than that. Make each connection count. Mojo Dialer is a great one if you need a multi-line dialer. It's very easy to use, very easy to set up, still works 100%. Call tools. If anyone here on the webinar is thinking of scaling this up to multiple callers, multiple ISAs, multiple agents, you got to bite the bullet and just get call tools, because that scales up for calling teams much better. It's the best one out there for that scenario. If it's just going to be you and your ISA, Mojo's more than what you need. That's fine, okay? Most important factor is something called anti-spam technology, okay? If you do not use the tools provided by Mojo, by Call Tools, by these tools, by Vulcan, by RedX, if you don't use their white listing, anti-spam technology, you're not going to talk to anybody. This is 2024. We need to use the tools at our disposal to actually talk to homeowners every single day, okay? If you don't pay attention to this, you're not going to connect with anybody, okay? Really important. Data, all right? Depending on what you guys are going to call, if you're calling expireds, my favorite is Vulcan 7. It's like the industry's favorite. We've had great results with Vulcan. If you're calling absentee owners or downsizers, the best results that I've seen with this model are from the share group. They own the market when it comes to absentee owners and downsizers. The people that get the best results are using share group. Use it, and they're the provider. If we have a special offer going on, I'll mention it at the end. Stick around to the end. We'll get a special offer from the share group. And then if you're doing circle prospecting, all of these providers do circle prospecting, but the one I like the most is RedX, okay? RedX has a great one. Their GeoLeads product is probably the best one out there. And you overlay their premium data on top of their GeoLeads. That's the best solution I've seen so far, okay? Last but not least, it's not all, sunshine and roses, folks. There are some potential pitfalls, okay? Do not do this. This is my do not do list, all right? Unrealistic expectations. Like I said, I literally had a coaching session right before this presentation where an agent was getting frustrated that they're generating all these qualified sellers, but where are my appointments? Like, no, you're doing it wrong, okay? You're doing it wrong. It is your job to connect with these qualified sellers, these hand raisers, build that relationship and get in front of them. Whether it's at a listing appointment or at a coffee at Starbucks or on the street, doesn't matter. Get on a Zoom call, face-to-face on a Zoom call, right? Because don't forget that in our statistic, 60 to 70% of people are going to end up working with the first agent they meet face-to-face with. I have found that to be true, guys. True. You just have to have the skill set to have a conversation with them, build that relationship, and get in front of them, okay? All of these techniques I taught you are going to get you in front of sellers with the benefit of not having another 10 agents competing with you at the same time. I think that's valuable, okay? You got to go into it with your eyes open. It is a farming activity. It is a prospecting activity, and you got to set those appointments. The other mistake, the big pitfall, your ISA is not talking to enough people, okay? Like I said, 30 to 50 conversations from circle prospecting. The other lead sources require less. But just remember that number, 30 to 50 conversations on a daily basis. If you're not reaching that, you got to fix something. Your number might be tagged as spam, spam likely, robocall, unsolicited call. You want to avoid those and use the tools at our disposal to do that, okay? You want to make sure you've got the right data, okay? Data quality matters. Use some of the vendors I just mentioned, right? Dialer, use the right dialer. But remember this, it's not about dialing the fastest. It is about having conversations, okay? Sometimes dialing faster is not better, actually, okay? If you're not getting the contacts that you want and you're dialing 800 people a day, slow it down. That's the first thing we always tell our clients. Slow it down and then see what kind of results you can get from that. Your conversations are probably actually going to go up, all right? And number 3, like I said, your ISA racks these up, queues them up for you, and then it's your job to build that relationship and follow up with them at least once a month. At least. Call, text, email. Once a month, and just check in to see if anything has changed. Check in to offer them some help. Give them a resource, a blog post, a video, a great because every seller is a buyer first. Show them some great properties they might be interested in, okay? Hey, I found this property, you might love this. I think this is a great deal. What do you think? Start there and then see how everything else is going, okay? Have a powerful follow-up plan. You don't need automation for follow-up. You're like, Gus says you're prohibited from using your awesome texting email automation tool. That's not necessary, folks. That's for inbound internet leads you haven't spoken to yet. These people, you've actually connected with them. You were your ISA. You don't need all the automation to do this, okay? This is not what this is for. Awesome. Here we go. For you awesome people that wait until the end, we got this special offer. 2 things. If you mention this webinar, you get 1,000 free leads. You can pick from absentee, downsizers, likely to sell. If you sign up with PowerISA, and for, this is for new clients only. If you guys are already, anyone here, I recognize a few names. If you're already a client of PowerISA, I can still get you a really good deal, but the 1,000 free leads is just for new clients. If you guys want this deck, you want the actual deck, shoot me an email at info@powerisa.com and include in your subject, ISA cold deck, okay? That's pretty much it. I think we're like a minute early. I cannot believe it. We made it.
We got plenty of time, and we've got 2 questions, and then we'll go to you, Jessica. So Roger was asking My Plus leads, how does that compare to Red X, or do you have a preference?
Oh, okay. So I prefer Red X Geo leads, but I would say My Pluses is like right there. I would try personally. I try Red X first. They also happen to be an LCA partner. Probably can get a good deal on that. And if you can't email me, I can get you a good deal on that. But I would say My Plus leads is right there for circle. I think it's really close. I would try. I definitely wouldn't discard it at all. Okay.
And then Michelle was just saying, and she didn't elaborate, that she had tried 2 ISAs before and they just weren't that good. So I guess maybe try to give us some information on how you verify your ISAs and
100%. So for this role, and we're talking about cold calling here, you have to have someone with cold calling experience. It's very, very challenging to like try out someone that's never done cold calling. It just, you have to go through a lot of people. I guess is the challenge. You have to go through a lot of people, and it's not going to be easy. That's the primary thing you want to look for. Cold calling experience. It might not be real estate cold calling. Just to be clear, we see a lot of people from cold calling from the SaaS business, people selling software to consumers, not to businesses, but to consumers. We see a lot of people from solar industry, solar, and insurance and warranty space for automobiles, right? So those, for whatever reason, they like dwarf real estate, right? They have a massive outbound cold calling industry for those verticals, and those are the folks you want to go to real estate because they're used to talking to homeowners. They can do the job. So in my opinion, that's probably the biggest thing for this role. Talking about outbound prospecting, because otherwise, yeah, it's hard. You're gonna have to cycle through a lot of people to find a really good cold caller. You're gonna have it's just the name of the game. It's a difficult role to find great people for. That's why PowerISA exists, because we know how hard it is to find a great cold caller that can help you out and do the job. Yeah, I have empathy for that.
All right, we've got some with hands raised. I'm going to go to Jessica first. All right, Jessica.
Hi. Okay, I have two questions. One is, do you train the realtors to follow up? Like, how do you have that?
Great question. And I almost forgot. So, Jessica, not only do we train the agents, we actually have one of our coaches, John D. Smith. He's doing a free session, group session tomorrow inside the PowerISA Facebook group. So the answer is absolutely yes. Because agents need help with these leads, especially if you're not used to doing cold calling. You can't just bring an ISA and then everything's going to work, right? You need training, you need coaching and feedback to take that lead from like a cold lead into a listing. So yeah, absolutely yes. And not only that, one of our preferred coaches, love this guy, John D. Smith, 20-year experience in cold calling and prospecting, in one of the hottest markets in America, Charlotte, North Carolina. He'll be in the Facebook group tomorrow at, I think it's going to be noon Eastern time. Okay, noon Eastern time tomorrow in the PowerISA Facebook group. I don't know that I hope we can drop that plug. But yeah, in my own Facebook group, he'll be there live, and he's the guy that if you needed help with that, he would be the person to help you out, right? So yeah, 100%. I think it's necessary. If you haven't done cold calling before, you can't just go into it and pray it works. No. If you have a great ISA, you're not going to make it work. Because you're not going to know how to get that person
how to follow up
through the door. Yeah.
So so when we get the ISA, are they like ready to go? They know how to make the calls, they know the objections, or we have to train them?
So they might be new to real estate. That's really the only thing. So you get an ISA coach as well, does one-on-one sessions and then group sessions with the ISA. So we're definitely helping train them up because they might be new to real estate. They know how to cold call. They know how to have conversations with folks, but they are going to be trained on the script, on the industry. So there might be a ramp up period for that for sure, but you're ramping up someone that can do the job, which is very different.
Okay, and do they only do cold calling, or are they also an assistant? Like, I'm a really new agent, so yeah. I'm not really ready to make like a full-time commitment. Like, is there part-time commitment, and
yeah,
can they do other things?
We do both full and part-time. I think the other things is going to depend a little bit. I'd love to have you should have a conversation with me and my team about what other activities you'd like them to do, because we have some ISAs that do prospecting on social media, for example, right? They kind of switch between. They're calling circle, they're prospecting on social, not ads, like actual prospecting on social media, either through marketplace or through groups, Facebook groups. So I think it kind of depends, but we do need to know those requirements up front. So then when we bring in the person, they match that. They got to be a little bit more tech savvy. For example, right? We have one ISA for another company that they wanted them to help them do flyers on Canva, for example. So we had to make sure the person was either trained or had already used Canva before, or we trained them on that to make sure they could help out. That was a kind of a unique case because they were working for a very large team and they just needed help with that, right? So let us know, and we can tell you, give some feedback on whether that task is doable or not, or whether you need to hire another person for the admin task. Because ISAs, in my opinion, should be calling. But we do full-time and we do part-time campaigns as well, Jessica. So great.
All right.
Yeah, people can drop the question. Let me see if we can get to the text questions. Do you allow for some script changes so this will work for commercial purposes? Yes, Ben, we're working with actually several commercial property agents right now because of the market. I mean, people don't follow this. Commercial real estate is tough right now, and people are taking it on the nose. There's deals to be had. There's lots of deals to be. So yeah, absolutely. You can do, we have commercial scripts that we use. We can also modify some that you've got. We can definitely do that. So yep, 100%. Can I use any data for any dialer? You can, yeah, Mojo works with everything. Mojo works with everything. So yeah, absolutely. You can use all the ones that I mentioned integrate directly with Mojo at least. And if not, you can just export them into like Excel and put them into Mojo. Definitely. Great one. Let's see. Do you have a licensed ISA? Sometimes including my, oh, Ryan, we need to have a conversation about that because we have some workarounds for that. We can get ISAs licensed, but I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of a different process. So if you're interested in that, reach out so we can have a conversation about it, okay? Cost of the ISA, part-time and full-time. Roger, starts at about $5 to $7 an hour. That is roughly, whether it's full-time or part-time. $5 to $7 an hour, just depending on the experience. If the person has done real estate before, they're going to want a little bit more. If they haven't done real estate before, you can get it for a little bit less, and then they learn more. Awesome. Okay, cool. I think so. Why don't I make sure we got there, everybody? Because we're way over time. So thanks, everybody. Yeah, and if you
so
want
much.
have any questions, yeah, message us, and we're good to go. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for coming.